Oh, Brad.
So
very much.
5:30 having arrived, I'd like to call to order our Finance and Personnel Committee meeting on Monday, October 30th. 2020. Roll call, please.
Alder West. Alder Horton.
Present.
Alder Lamb. Present. Alder Paffrath.
Here.
Alder McCarthy.
Present.
That completes roll call.
All right, thank you. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes for September 25th, 2023. All right, I'll second that. Properly moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, minutes approved. First item.
Item number 1038-23, communication sponsored by Alder West on behalf of the Finance Director to approve a resolution authorizing the issuance and sale of $3,575,000 of 2023 taxable general obligation refunding bonds dated November 7th, 2023, to raise funds to pay the cost of refinancing the taxable note anticipation notes dated December 11th, 2018. Staff recommendation to approve a resolution authorizing the issuance and sale of $3,575,000 of 2023 taxable general obligation refunding bonds dated November 7th, 2023, to raise funds to pay the cost of refinancing the taxable note anticipation notes dated December 11th, 2018. Fiscal note, no new money will be included in the issue. Payments due in the years 2024 through 2041. Debt service will be paid from TID number 18. Brad Vagut from Baird is here to speak on both this item and the next item.
I'll walk through the packet that was attached to your agenda and certainly answer any questions. Just by way of a timeline, with the committee's authorization tonight, Baird and city staff will continue taking steps to bring this issue and the next agenda item to market. We've already secured a bond rating from Standard & Poor's. They confirmed the city's rating and assigned a stable outlook. We're going to begin marketing the bonds next week. We're going to distribute the official statement a little later this week. So we're right where we need to be in order to have this on the council's agenda November 7th. It would be that action at council on November 7th that would finalize the rates and the terms. The closing date would be November 28th, and then the 2018 note anticipation note is due on December 1st. So the proceeds from the closing would be used to make that payment. And then the short-term NAN that was issued a couple of months ago for city capital projects will be called and paid off on December 18th. So I've got a summary of the two issues on the bottom of this first page. The issue that's currently on the table, $3,575,000 of taxable GO refunding bonds. These are all related to TID number 18. So the plan back in 2018 was, let's put a 5-year note anticipation note in place, give this TID some time to develop new growth and to generate revenues that could pay debt service. So now we're at the point to take out this note anticipation note with 20-year debt. Towards the left-hand side of the page, you'll see the $18,035,000 refunding bond. This is refunding the NAN that funded equipment acquisition and the rest of the city's capital program. This has a June 1st principal payment for the equipment components, and then the final payment, or then the payment switched to December 1st for principal, with the final payment being in 2037. In terms of interest rates, we're anticipating approximately 4.79% for the tax-exempt GO refunding bond and 6.18% for the taxable refunding bond. I included the update of the detailed financing plan for the city. This is with your current CIP. So I'll just touch on a couple of highlights here. In the center of page 3, you'll see the structure that's been developed for the refunding bond, the $18,035,000 refunding bond. Again, we pay that equipment component off within 6 months of issuance. So that's where you'll see is a $3.48 million principal payment on June 1st. In the blue shaded columns, you'll see that after this first payment, we have equal annual payments of approximately $1.2 million on this new issue. So next to that column then is levy component or levy supported debt of this $18,035,000 issue, plus existing payments that the city has already committed to levy supported payments. And then on the following page, we start layering in the TIF. And what I want to highlight on here for TIF 18, under the header that says preliminary, you look at the total column, I boxed in a few areas. It's approximately $240,000 for a number of years. And then you start to increase those payments, ratchet those payments up until it levels out at approximately 480 to 45. That's to allow, again, the incremental revenue that's generated in a TID to develop and generate and be available to pay debt service. So that's why that issue is structured that way. The combined debt service towards the right-hand side of the page, that's just levy supported debt. And what we're targeting here is you've got less than a 5% increase for your 2024 payments, just at 4.99. And then the annual increases are 1.2% in debt service payments. And that includes future financings that are currently in your capital program. So each year, when you update your capital program, we'll update this plan and get you new projections. So be glad to answer questions if you like, or go into more detail.
Yeah, the floor.
Thank you. So the TID related is general obligation. So they're seeing a higher rate coming out of that than the other one. Why is that?
Yeah, the TID debt is not eligible for tax exempt financing,
Okay.
where your city debt, the debt to fund the city capital program is eligible. So it's just the difference of a tax exempt issue versus a taxable issue.
Okay. I thought, I don't remember that back in 2018, but that's not something we normally note, so.
Correct, that's a good question.
Something to consider, because we pay more for that kind of financing. Oh, and you answered my other question already, so I'm just on.
Any other questions? Brad. All right,
Oh, actually,
go ahead.
Yeah, so we're in essence financing this TID over, borrowing money over 25 years, we get 5 and then 20 after that. We're anticipating additional funds from TID. I thought the TID didn't kick in until like year 27 and a half, whatever that number is, as far as this returning money back to the general fund.
So this is TID number 18, so this would be Water Street. So right now, there is nothing constructed on Water Street, as something would be constructed on Water Street. Any development there would have to consider this debt service in place first. So the increment coming in from anything built there would pay off debt service first, and then any agreement with whatever developer or whatever that may be would come after that. So debt service always comes first. Right now, actually, we have another TID sharing with TID number 18 to pay the current debt service, and we'll pay this initial debt service as well. That is also why we structured it the way we did, with giving us a few more years to get something built down there.
Okay, and if that thing is built, then we'll continue to finance from TID number
It is TID number 12.
2.
The apartments on the corner of 6th and Marquette.
Gotcha.
I should know the name of it. I apologize. I can't remember the name of it.
Riverbend
Riverbend Lofts. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
No problem. Any other questions for Brad? Time, I'll make a motion to approve item 1038-23. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. Properly moved by the chair and seconded by the vice chair. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, item passes.
Item number 1037-23, communications specified Oliver West on behalf of the finance director to approve the resolution authorizing the issuance and sale of 18,025,000 of 2023 general obligation refunding bonds dated November 7th, 2023, to raise funds to pay the cost of refinancing the note anticipation notes issued September 26, 2023. Staff recommendation is to approve the resolution authorizing the issuance and sale of 18,025,000 of 2023 general obligation refunding bonds dated November 7th, 2023, to raise funds to pay the cost of refinancing the note anticipation notes issued September 26, 2023. Fiscal note, no new money will be included in this issue. Payments due in the years 2024 through 2037. Again, Brad was just up discussing this and went in the whole discussion earlier.
Other questions for Brad as it pertains to item 1037-23? Seeing none, and I'll make a motion to approve this item as well. 1037-23. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, properly moved by the chair and seconded by Alderman McCarthy. All those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed, motion carries. Thanks, item.
Item number 1036-23, communication sponsored by Alder Coe, requesting permission to present the 2024 operating plan for Business Improvement District Number 1 downtown for review and approval. Staff recommendation that the 2024 operating plan for Business Improvement District Number 1 downtown be approved. Further, that the finance director be authorized and directed to include the district's special charges on the 2023 property tax bills of affected parcels. Fiscal note, it is estimated that $267,000 will be raised through bid assessments that will be placed into the Downtown Business Improvement District's revenue account. Anyone here to speak on this item? Anyone here from downtown? Jeff, you want to give it a shot?
Sure, we can make up something that sounds great. Hello, I'm Matt from the downtown bid, but the premise of the bid is essentially the people who live in a bid or own property in the bid, not even live, but own property in the bid will pay more money into an account that they more or less have a board that's appointed by the council that will decide how that money is going to be spent. So you see things like flower pots, banners, downtown promotions. There's like a lot of pub crawls they'll do. That sort of thing is what this money is funded on. Again, this is their election to do so. The council recently saw a proposed one for Russ Racine that didn't work out because the property owners didn't want it. Should people want one, the result of the cover sheet that was prepared by Michelle will indicate kind of how that goes, and they're required to have a plan every year that outlines kind of what they're going to spend their money on. It was broken down into buckets for like marketing, promotions, that sort of thing. So that's automatically placed under the tax bills. The plan they submitted does conform with all the state statutes, and it's very similar to one that they've done in the past. I can take any questions if you have any about how they generally work.
Alderman McCarthy, you have the floor.
It's a little specific, but I think you know the answer, or make a point. The board that was elected by the downtown businesses has developed and approved this plan.
Yes, yep. It's their plan that was submitted to state staff, was reviewed for general compliance with the statutory requirements, and this one does comply.
I like that they're pointing that.
All right, any other questions?
Are they raising fees this year? I don't expect Jeff to know.
No,
Yeah,
my recollection is a very small incremental increase.
yeah.
They do have an annual meeting, total participation, total vote, and it had to pass in order to get that.
All right, any other questions? Seeing none at this time, I'll entertain a motion for 1036-23.
Move to approve.
Second.
All right, probably moved by the vice chair and seconded by Alderman McCarthy. All those in favor, please state by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, motion carries.
Item number 1046-23, communication sponsored by Alder Pakrath, requesting permission to present the 2024 operating plan for Business Improvement District Number 4, Douglas Avenue for review and approval. Staff recommendation that the 2024 operating plan for Business Improvement District Number 4 Douglas Avenue be approved. Further, that the finance director be authorized and directed to include the district's special charges on the 2023 property tax bills of affected parcels. Fiscal note, it's estimated that $70,000 will be raised through bid assessments that will be placed into the Douglas Avenue Business Improvement District's revenue account. Would you mind just stating your name? Just so-
Sure. Name is David Namowitz, NAMOWICZ. I'm treasurer of the Douglas Avenue bid, and we're here today asking you to approve our budget of $70,000 for 2024 budget. The bid board did approve the budget on September 24th. We sent out mailers and had a meeting, annual meeting of all business property owners on October 19th. No one objected to our budget at that time. We had some good compliments, and now we're here to ask you to approve it. While we continue to work on beautification of the street through our flower pots and our banners, and we're continuing to keep prying down by the use of our security cameras, which the police have access to. And we are paying, we're putting the lights on buildings more and more to keep the street brighter. The property owners seem to really enjoy this year our marketing initiatives and our communication programs that help them promote their businesses. And last half of the year, especially, a number of businesses are using our grants that we have to improve their properties. And we expect that to grow for next year. This 2023 will be our 15th year of being a bid, and we're proud of what we've done and looking forward to continue. Thank you.
All right, any questions?
I'd just like to personally thank David Amowitz for his leadership on the Douglas Avenue bid. As an honor to sit on that committee. And it's been a pleasure to work with him and the team that has been involved in this redevelopment for many years. So I think it's a great budget, and the things that have been happening this year are pretty amazing. So thank you, David.
Any other questions, Mayor?
Just want to thank David for being here to present your Douglas Avenue bid to the committee. It's helpful to have you here. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions? All right, seeing none, Alderman Paffrath, would you like to make a
I
motion?
would happily make a motion to approve this item.
All right, second,
Second.
or whatever. So- Properly moved by Alderman Paffrath and seconded by Alderman Ladd. All right. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, motion carries.
Thank you. Item number 0118-23, Communications Sponsored by Alder West, on behalf of the Human Resources Benefits Manager, requesting permission to appear before the Finance and Personnel Committee to discuss the city's stop loss insurance coverage for 2024. Staff recommendation that the Human Resources Benefits Manager be authorized and directed to enter into an agreement for the city's 2024 health insurance stop loss coverage with Vista through Brown and Brown. Fiscal note, estimated total cost is $874,685. Estimated cost for the city only is $648,090. Funds are allocated in the 2024 budget under account 70312522130, stop loss premium. Benefit manager Lynn is here to speak on the item.
Thank you for letting me present this evening. For some background on this item, we are self-funded for our medical insurance through United Healthcare, which means we pay for the claims for each member that's enrolled in the medical insurance. So with stop loss, if we were to pay medical claims exceeding, with our current policy, $275,000, the stop loss vendor would reimburse us for those costs. For this item, I'm asking for approval to move forward with Vista for our stop loss insurance carrier for 2024. Based off of claims analysis for the previous 3 years that Brown and Brown, our benefits broker, has done, I'm looking to change our deductible from our current $275,000 to $300,000 for 2024. With this change to Vista would also include a negotiated decrease in our lasered member from $385,000 to $375,000. So with these changes, our premium for our stop loss insurance for 2024 would decrease by about 2.8%, with a projected savings of around $114,000. So to echo the fiscal note, the estimated total cost for 2024 is projected to be $874,000. For city only, it'll be a little over $648,000. So with that, I can take any questions that the community may have at this point.
Thank you. Mayor, go ahead.
Amelia, is this a different company than?
Yes, currently we have SL Management, which used to be American Fidelity. So this would be the change in vendor.
All right, Alderman McCarthy, you have the floor.
Okay, thank you. Please provide me the city portion versus the total of the party utilities.
Correct.
Any other questions? Any other questions? Seeing none at this time, I'll make a motion to approve item 1018-23. Second. All right, properly moved by the chair, seconded by Alderman McCarthy. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Item number 1041-23, communications sponsored by Alder West, requesting permission to submit the bid results of official notice number 11, 2023, grounds maintenance, snow removal and burial services for Racine cemeteries. Staff recommendation to approve contract number 2024-001 for grounds maintenance, snow removal and burial services be awarded to Reliable Property Services per official notice number 11, 2023, bid document for 1-year term from January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2024, with option to be renewed for 4 additional 1-year periods. Fiscal note funding is proposed in the 2024 budget in account number 22450522200 contracted services. Director Molbeck is here to speak on the item.
Thank you. Good evening. I just want to take a quick moment to introduce Jake Burchett. He is our cemetery's labor supervisor. So he's here if I can answer any questions that you got. Just getting back, this is an official notice number 11, 2023 for ground maintenance, snow removal and burial for our Mound and Grayson Cemetery. This bid was advertised in the Journal Times and also posted online by our purchasing agent. We received 3 different bids. I believe you were able to review those 3 bids, and we believe that those documents that you received support our recommendation to approve and award this contract to Reliable Property Services. So I'm here to ask for your approval for that and answer any questions that you might have regarding this item.
Any questions for Director Molbeck?
How are the costs compared to previous years?
It's up a little bit. This contract was about a 3-year contract I think we had, plus a 1-year with them. So during that time, it went up. I think during that one option year, some of the prices went up on the ground maintenance part of it. But this one went up, I couldn't tell you a percentage, but it is under the dollar amount that is set in our 2024 budget.
Oh,
McCarthy, you have the
here we
floor. Any other questions? Any other questions? All right, seeing none, I'll make a motion to approve item 1041-23.
Second.
All right, probably moved by the chair and seconded by the vice chair. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item number 1044-23, communications sponsored by Alder West, on behalf of the Assistant Director of City Development, requested permission to apply for the fiscal year 2024 United States Environmental Protection Agency, US EPA, Brownfield Community-Wide Assessment Grant to the City of Racine and to accept the grant if awarded, grant control number 538. Staff recommendation that the Assistant Director of City Development or his designee be authorized to act on behalf of the City of Racine to submit to US EPA an application for the community-wide assessment grant, sign all forms and documents necessary, pay all fees, and take necessary action to undertake, direct, complete, and carry out grant activities if awarded. Fiscal note, city will apply for a maximum amount of funding of $500,000 to be used over a period of 4 years. There is no match requirements for this grant. Planner Michelle Cook is here to speak on the item.
Thank you for having me. So, City Development, we are looking to apply for the assessment grant offered by the Environmental Protection Agency. So what this grant will do will help us see what we have in our city, see what brownfields we have, and we can also create plans off of that grant. So right now we do have kind of a citywide focus. So I don't know, you know what a brownfield is, right? Good. Okay. So I just want to make sure. So yeah. So basically we're asking for these funds so we can go out there and assess our site, see what's in that dirt, see what's in those buildings, and create the best use for the properties. Any questions?
Alderman McCarthy, you have the floor.
We've been doing this forever. Don't we know where all the brownfields are yet? What's it done?
See, we do not, because we do not own them, and so we have to be able to get into those properties sometimes and see what's there. So that's one of the uses of the grant, is we can update our brownfield inventory, so we can have an accurate count of what's there, because some of it has been redeveloped, so they're no longer brownfields. They're back to their viable uses.
Thank you. Okay, any other questions? All right, seeing none, at this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve item 1044-23.
Second.
All right, properly moved by the vice chair and seconded by Alder Lamb. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, motion carries.
Item number 1047-23, communication sponsored by Mayor Mason, requesting an extension of the Lincoln King Community Center and Clinic Services Agreement with the Concord Consulting Group of Illinois Incorporated. The Concord Group, as the city's owner representative on the Lincoln King Community Center and Clinic from November 2023 to April 30th, 2024. Staff recommendation that the purchasing agent be authorized and directed to extend the agreement with Concord Consulting Group as the city's owner's rep on the Lincoln King Community Center and Clinic from November 2023 through April 30th, 2024. Fiscal note, estimated amount is $318,000. Funding is available in account number 20314-52100222912. ARPA Infrastructure Grant Professional Services. Administrator Bornholz is here to speak on the item.
Thank you, Chair West and members. First, I would just want to update you on where we are in the project of this very exciting catalytic investment in Lincoln King neighborhood. So last week, our architect, the Smith Group, completed their construction and design documents. What that entails is the actual size of the complex, the two buildings, the FQHC, Federally Qualified Health Clinic, the Department of Health, and also the new Lincoln King Community Center. We now have square footage, we now have programming, detailed square design, offices, the infrastructure that will go into it. The next step for that is now to have it reviewed by our owner's rep, which is the Concord Group, and also our construction project manager, which you had approved prior to this undertaking in this when we entered into the agreement with the Smith Group, the Pepper construction team. They will now review those documents and start really start drilling down on those cost estimates. We have a project cost estimate of basically 68 million right now. It was previously estimated at 65. That was always kind of the goal. It's coming at 68. That's still not a final price because a lot of documents have to be reviewed, a lot of systems have to be reviewed, and all the stuff that goes into it. Plus, then we have to go to market once we have the construction documents and the bid packages, and then go price it competitively. That would be the next stage. But given we have a $68 million project estimate, and we have 34 million approximately, pretty solid already in the bank for this project, now comes the part where we have to find the funding gap. This next phase with Concord will assist us in doing that. They will help us market the New Market Tax Credit Program. This is a program that was created with federal tax credits. It was used in the Hotel Verdant project, actually, to close the financing gap. It encourages development dollars into urban areas that have economic needs. That's an estimate of 8 to 13 million. But again, we need help to market the project to those investors so that they will choose this project, so that we can get closer to 13. So this budget will help us. Concord help us, advise us, maybe bring on experts, also consultants to do that. There are energy rebates, tax credits. There are grants still out there that we can still pursue, philanthropic organizations that have a skew toward either the net zero ability of this new project and/or obviously the community and wellness, and the fact that it's connected to a community school. We feel very good about that. We've also identified almost over $20 million in sponsorships that people could name the gym, name a wall, name the energy features on the solar arrays, people who are interested in doing such that. And then finally, there's value engineering, which will be another step in this process, which is why we want to retain Concord to move this process forward between now and April, and hopefully for a construction kickoff, next spring or so. So I would just bring to your attention, the owner's rep is broken out into 118 total for that period, but also we asked for up to 200,000, as I said, to close this funding gap and retain Concord and others if necessary to, again, market those new market tax credits, help us with energy, find energy rebates and have those estimations. But I want to point out that it's up to 200,000 because we have envisioned tiering it so that we achieve goals. So we're not gonna just pay someone 200 upfront and say, please. We're gonna like, what's the first 2 million look like and how are you gonna get there? They're 2 million, let's get to 4 million, let's get to 8 million, let's get to 15 million. So it's gonna be structured in a way that has goals and benchmarks and, achievable so that we're using that budget. And I would just say closing a $30 million gap with $200,000 is a fraction of a percent in terms of the cost to do this, given the potential achievement I think we can achieve.
All right, any questions? Any questions? All right, seeing none, I'll make a motion to approve item 1047-23. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, probably moved by the chair and seconded by Alderman Land. All those in favor?
Mr. Chair,
I'm sorry.
question, should we actually moving up to $318,000?
I believe the fiscal is 318,000.
It says is, though, I think what Alderman McCarthy is suggesting that it should say estimated amount
certainly
up to.
You certainly can. That's that will be what's in the contract.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, so are we amending this motion then, or?
So the fiscal note would then read estimated amount is up to 318,000. Funding is available in.
All right, so based on the amended number, I'll make a motion to approve 1047-23. Do I have a second? Alderman Lang?
Second.
All right. You didn't change your mind, did you? Write that up, I just made it different. All right, so probably moved by the chair and seconded by Alderman. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, motion carries. Next item.
Item number 1040-23, communications sponsored by Alder West on behalf of the finance director, further clarifying resolution 0943-23 and authorizing contract number 2023-213 RFP audit services be awarded to Baker Tilly US LLP for 3 years beginning January 1st, 2024, and the option to extend the contract with 2 additional 1-year increments. Staff recommendation that contract number 2023-213 RFP audit services be awarded to Baker Tilly US LLP for 3 years beginning January 1st, 2024, with the option to extend the contract for 2 additional 1-year increments. Fiscal note, contract amounts are as follows: 2024, $93,500, 2025, $97,250, and 2026, $101,150. I actually will speak briefly on this item. There was a bit of a snafu when we ran this through the first time under resolution number 0943-23, and only the first year of the contract was authorized by the Common Council. So we chose to bring it back through just for full transparency and make sure that all 3 years were actually authorized by the Common Council clearly. It was included in the memo, but it wasn't included on the face of the legislation. So just a little housekeeping here.
All right, Alderman McCarthy, the floor.
Thank you. Just for clarification, the optional years, additional years, would that take up to 5 years, or would the 2 in here?
No, it would take it up to 5 years
Okay,
then.
so optional in the price at this point then.
Correct, that would
So it
come
be
back
about
when we do
$4,000
those.
more.
Yep.
It's a pattern continue.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Any other questions? All right, seeing none, I'll entertain a motion at this time. For item 1040.
Approve.
Second. All right, moved by Alderman McCarthy and seconded by the vice chair. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Next item.
Item number 0139-23, communications sponsored by Alder West on behalf of the finance director requesting permission to submit the fiscal results for the period ending September 30th, 2023 for the city ARPA funds Fund 229. Staff recommendation for this item would be to receive and file. Fiscal note on this one would be an NA. Attached to the legislative item tonight is a document that the council has seen before, updated for September 30th. It looks like this. This was the document that I shared with the committee of the whole a few months back for the period ending June 30th, 2023. Using that same format, I have updated it for September 30th, 2023. The city's ARPA reporting is due to the Treasury by October 31st of 2023 for the period ending 9/30. That was submitted today. Thank you, Paul. So that has been submitted and reflects these exact results that are submitted to you today. Just a couple of highlights. There's not many huge changes from the last time we reported, but a couple of highlights where we're seeing a little bit more movement. In the employee retention recruitment area, because those signing bonuses, student loan debt repayment have been opened up to police and fire, we're seeing a lot more use of that space throughout the city. So that is a great thing to see in terms of benefits for the employees. So that has increased a bit. Under the home ownership area, we are constructing our 5th house right now. And I believe it's on West Boulevard, if I remember correctly. So that 5th one is being constructed right now. In the public safety, public health area, we received both of our 2 new pumpers in the fire department. So that was very exciting. So that is done, paid for, and they are in use right now. And the youth job program under the workforce opportunities area, again, another successful year for the youth jobs program. We absolutely love the program. We actually still have our intern in our office in the finance clerks area. Absolutely love Sal. Great program for the city. We're seeing one of my favorites actually through ARPA. So thank you to Keisha and the whole team that runs that program. Overall for ARPA, our total direct allocation of ARPA, which is what we're speaking about tonight, is $46,246,465. We have spent $19.9 million, just over $19.9 million. $1.5 million is fully encumbered, meaning there's a contract, there's a PO, there's some sort of formal document committing those funds. There's about $17.5 million committed, meaning that it's either a match for another grant, like the healthcare center, it's a match for the state's ARPA grant for healthcare. There's $5 million of housing in here, match for the Lincoln King housing grant. So usually in that committed column, it either means that there are salaries that are committed to a specific person or that it's a match for a grant of some sort. So about $17.6 million still committed, available about $7.2 million at this point. Again, as we start these programs out, the home buyer assistance program will start rolling out in the next couple of months. I anticipate these numbers to keep moving pretty quickly now here. So any questions from the committee?
Any questions on the ARPA funds?
Chair, is there a plan for the 7 million that's still available?
So the majority of the 7 million that is still available is in that housing space. So the home down payment assistance and the housing revitalization space is about $3 million of that 7 million. I do anticipate, I know that we actually are having an internal meeting shortly to talk about a citywide down payment assistance program. We're modeling it against our employee down payment assistance program. Once that gets out to the community, that money's going to fly. It's a very, very popular program, even for our employees, and a great program for city residents as well. So I do anticipate that going quickly. It's been one of the things we've just been holding back to make sure that we have our ducks in a row before we throw it out to the community. That housing revitalization piece as well, depending on how quickly Lincoln King moves and what we start seeing in Lincoln King, we'll start making different decisions if there's different areas of the city that could be used for.
Alderman McCarthy, you have the floor.
Yeah, you don't have to answer now, but could you give us afterwards the parameters around that public down payment assistance program? Who's eligible, those kind of things?
Yeah, I don't know that we have it fully all the way through the vetting process. So I don't know that I would have it quickly, but I think we would have it probably in the next couple of months.
Could it come back to this committee, or will it come back to this committee?
I don't know that the policy itself would generally come back through the committee. Actually, I don't even know that we know which committee it would come through, if it would come through CDA or if it would come through, I'm not sure, to be quite honest with you.
Make sure that it goes through a committee and short on the city council. Thank you.
You said a committee or his body, right?
A committee, just one.
What is in cabinets? I think that those monies may have been allocated to the CBA to be the body that approves what they.
Oh, you could be right there. I apologize. I don't remember that.
That's the only cap, I think this is some of those housing resources, I think the council already allocated or delegated that authority to the CBA. But it will go through somebody to review before.
Move to receive and file with the caveat that the down payment assistance program goes through a committee and on to city council.
Second. Properly moved to receive and file and seconded by the chair. Do we need to vote on this for receive and file? All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Next item.
Who was the main motion of that?
Alderman McCarthy and I seconded.
Item number 1043-23, communication sponsored by Alder West on behalf of the finance director requesting permission to submit the presentation of the third quarter 2023 fiscal results and the September 2023 investment summary staff recommendation to receive and file. Again, attached to the legislative item is the standard report that I give to the finance committee each quarter. Under our budget rules, processes, and procedures, I'm required to report to the finance committee the results of our major funds. So attached to the report, you have both the general fund and the health insurance fund for the city of Racine, our two largest operating funds in the city, make up between the two of them about $110 million worth of our budget. The general fund itself, when you're looking at the different areas, you're looking at what are called appropriation units, and then different departments within those appropriation units. When we're looking at budgeted results for a certain quarter, we're in the third quarter, we're expecting to see stuff about 75% spent in certain areas. So I'm just going to go through a couple of things that are outside of those parameters. It's no different than kind of what I covered in June because it's pretty much the same, but we'll go through them. In the non-departmental areas, really where we're seeing some pretty big fluctuation in the 2023 results. You'll see in salary and fringe and both operating are between 94 and 115% of budget. The operating expenses there actually reflect workers' compensation costs. We are self-insured for workers' compensation. Costs are very expensive in 2023. We expect them to be expensive again in 2024. You'll see a pretty significant increase in the budget for 2024 in that area. The salary and fringe area of the non-departmental is covering the sick leave payout. If you recall, the contract negotiations for both police and fire included cash payouts for police all in 2023. So that is the majority of what that is. While that is a big number, we are now out of that legacy cost. We have bought our way out of that legacy cost, which thank you very much. It is very important long-term for the sustainability of the city of Racine. We have the ARPA funds now. It is a great use of the ARPA funds. But me 20.
I think it took 20 minutes inside the door when I first got here, then Kathleen brought it up.
I will die on that hill. I said, we are not settling those contracts without it. So that is what that is. So you'll see a couple of things in this 2023 year based on those settlements of those contracts. We knew we had the ARPA funds, great use of the ARPA funds to get out of those legacy payments long-term. In both the fire and police area, you'll see them both right around 75, 76%. That's actually pretty good in terms of because we did not budget for the raises for 2023, and yet those raises are fully in here. So they're running pretty good still.
Does that include the overtime?
It does include the overtime. Police department, while you don't see it on this document, you will actually see it in your budget book. Very over in their overtime, but very under in their full salaries because obviously they're short-staffed. It's exactly what we expected, and we hope for that to start flipping as they start filling those positions. A couple of areas that are a little low. Public Works in both salary and fringe and the operating area of Public Works. They built in a lot of kind of duplicity in their operating area in case of not being able to hire positions, electricians, plumbers. If we have to contract those out, it's very expensive to do. They built that into their budget. We haven't had to contract out quite as much as they had anticipated. See a little bit of that yet coming up, but not near as much. They are starting to fill those positions. Their salary and fringe still running a little bit under because again, I think they budgeted a lot of overtime for the transfer station and that kind of overlap with the transfer station. So that's a good thing. We like seeing things under budget. Yay. On the second page in the city development area, both their salary and fringe and their operating expenses significantly under budget at this point. Salary and fringe is because a lot of their salaries are covered by grants, which is great. Yay. And they do have some open positions as well. So they're under budget in that area. Their operating expenses are way under because we have not started paying for the zoning code update, which is $200,000 item in their operations, which is significant for their budget. So
We'll be able to cover that for next year.
it is actually encumber. We just don't reflect encumbrance. We reflect only full spend. And we will start paying on that, I would think relatively soon as we've, I know, started that process. In the attorney's office, just heads up in the attorney's office, we have spent the majority of their outside counsel, sorry. So we have spent the far majority of their outside counsel. You'll see their operating expenses are very high and that's the majority of what that is. So overall for the general fund, we budgeted $86.8 million. We're at about 74.5% as of 9/30, which is actually a really good thing. Anything under 75 makes me happy. So I would anticipate at the end of the year that we do spend almost that entire 86 million. On the revenue side of the equation, however, we're seeing some really great positive results in the general fund in a couple of different areas. Building permits booming. This is a great thing. This is net new construction. This is exactly what we want to start seeing in the community. Building permits well over $1 million for the first time ever. So that is really great to see. Interest income, obviously, really high right now and will be, I think, for the next 3 years. We have a lot of cash on hand. It is invested at the highest interest rate I can get it into as fast as I can get it there. So I just moved some money today, as a matter of fact. So those two areas really helping out on the revenue side. For the general fund for 2023, we budgeted to use about $3.5 million of budget stabilization ARPA. I do not think we will use that full 3.5 million. I think we will use probably something closer to 1 million because the revenue side of the equation is so much more positive than we had budgeted. So I actually think we're going to do okay in the general fund in 2023. It's exactly what I told the bonding S&P people as well. Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
Time limitations on the ARPA funding, correct? Therefore,
There are time limitations on the ARPA funding, but as we spend it down, I mean, technically we are spending the ARPA. We're paying police, we're paying fire, we're spending the ARPA. If we have positive results, it becomes our regular general fund balance at that point.
so of that 3.5 million allocated, maybe have 2.5 million left over. That falls back into our general fund at that point.
Correct, and would be reappropriated in 2024 and 2025.
Okay. Thank you.
So that's a good thing for the general fund. I've been watching it with an eagle eye with those contracts settled. There was some pretty significant swings there. On the health insurance side of the equation, I do want to bring this to everybody's attention. We are seeing a pretty good uptick in our health insurance costs right now. We knew it was going to happen sooner or later. We had several very good years in the healthcare area. It's just expensive. Prescriptions are extremely expensive anywhere you slice it. So I do believe that we will use that full 17.5 million, if not a little bit more. I think we'll be closer to 18, to be honest with you, based on what we're seeing. We budgeted to use about $968,000 of health insurance fund balance. This is different fund balance specific to the health insurance fund. I think we'll use closer to $1 million. I think we'll actually use a little bit more than what we anticipated. Again, those prescription costs are just that much higher than I had anticipated when we budgeted. So there is plenty of fund balance available in the healthcare fund, but I do want everyone to be careful that that is meant to be used for the next 10 years. Please. And we'll talk about that next week. Also attached, I attached the investment analysis, which kind of goes through our large buckets of investments. A couple of things to bring to your attention. I gave a comparison of the blended interest rate for the city of Racine. So we have all sorts of different types of investments. We put them in many different areas. These are the major buckets that we put them in. And then we define based on that a blended interest rate. In September of 2022, that blended interest rate was 1.8%. That was actually pretty high back in 2022. For September of 2023, that blended interest rate is at almost 3.2%, which is amazing and brings in a ton of interest income for us, which again will help us long-term sustainability wise. You will see on here, there's a couple of investments that are really high. The investment pool, which is our easiest place to go for cash and to plant our cash, 5.35%. So we plant cash there as much as we can possibly do that. We also have another money market, which is actually at Wintrust or Town Bank, also at 5.31%. Easy to get that cash in and out, but plant it there as long as I can plant it there and earn as much interest as we possibly can. So great stuff on the investment side as well. Any more questions for me?
Is that interest accrued quarterly or
It's actually in most cases accrued monthly.
monthly? Okay.
Some of the investments accrue quarterly, but the majority it is monthly.
Okay.
Mhm.
Good to know. All right, any questions? Any questions? All right, at this time, I'll make a motion to receive and file. Item 1043-23. Do I have a second? Second. Properly moved by the chair and seconded by the vice chair. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed? All right, motion carries. Next item.
0973-23, communication sponsored by Elder West on behalf of the city attorney's office, submitting the claim of Racine Shopping Center LLC for consideration for disallowance. Staff recommendation that the claim be disallowed. Deputy City Attorney Hoover here to speak on the item.
Thank you. So Racine Shopping Center LLC filed a claim with the city and through their legal counsel, attorney Michael Stupar. They're requesting $1,850,006.20 in damages, allegedly arising from a water main break that caused flooding at the Racine Shopping Center, which is located at 5409 Washington Avenue in Mount Pleasant. This occurred back on May 21st, 2023. My office recommends disallowance of this claim because neither the city nor the water utility have any constructive or actual knowledge of a defect in the water main in question. Therefore, legally, the city and water utility cannot be held liable for the alleged damages. So it's our recommendation that the disallowance of this claim be recommended for approval.
Seeing none, all right. I'll make a motion to disallow item 0973-23. We have a second. Properly moved by the chair and seconded by Alder McCarthy. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. We have exhausted our agenda for this afternoon.